Hi, everyone. This is Angela with LK Insights. Welcome back to another New Earth Ascension Energy update. So, today, I'm very excited because I'm doing a lot of work myself and with the clearing the throat chakra. And so, I want to talk about that, but I also want to talk about energetically going forward, your choices and what those could um, potentially mean for you, right? So let's talk about the 3D. So, what we do with these energy updates is we talk about the 3D, which is the outer world. Then we talk about the fifth dimension, which is your inner world. And then the ascension is the transmutation between the third and the fifth. So we talk about how we can work on that. Okay. So, what's going on right now about speak up for personal freedom in the outer world, right? If you look at everything that's going on in the world, it's really a crazy time right now. Like what we're seeing is just so unprecedented. And that word is like being used a lot. And there's a reason for that. It's because these old energies are leaving, which you can say is the old earth, and the new energies are coming in. And with this comes a lot of back and forth, a lot of tension, and can cause a lot of chaos. So it's very difficult to navigate through this. But if you have a little bit of knowledge um, as far as what to choose, your path forward can be a lot smoother. And so, hopefully, I just believe that spirit is going to get this to whoever really needs to see it so that, your journey can be a little bit nicer than mine has been the last 8 years. So, um, because at first you don't really know what you're dealing with, right? It's like you're operating like how things used to work. And that used to be just everything looked fine on the outside world. You manifested what you wanted and you moved forward. But this is a whole different ball game where, like, you may be choosing something and then all of a sudden you get these crazy outcomes and you're like, why is this happening? Like really chaotic things. And you're going, what's going on? So, if that's you, I hope that this message does help you. So, okay. So I live in Southern California and, everyone's talking about mask mandates coming back. And the city of Huntington Beach, which I'm very close to, the city council, they just ruled to be a no mask mandate, no vaccine mandate city. And they voted on it and it did pass. And that to me felt amazing because the people who were for it said that they want to stand for personal freedoms. And the people against it said, in no way should we be um, dictating anything that has to do with, you know, the public health. Um, but I find that the first round of masks and mandates and vaccines and all that, to me, I felt very forced into wearing masks, and it didn't feel like it was a choice for me. And, as far as like the vaccine or whatnot, I didn't agree with that at all. And I did not take the vaccine. Um, and that's because, you know, I didn't like how new it was, and I did a little bit of research on it on my own, and I made a personal choice from there, but the pressure from society was very, intimidating a little bit, and, I'm very glad that I chose not to go forward with that vaccine because just because of things that have happened in my life that I've seen, um, and very sad things where people that I know that passed away due to the vaccine. And I don't know, it was just very, um, sorry. Okay. So I'm glad I chose the way I did. However, what we're dealing with now is something very different than how before these new energies came in, the fifth dimensional energies. um, these old energies were basically the third dimensional energies, very slow moving, um, not too much chaos stuff going on, just, everyone just kind of lived their lives. Well, now with these masks mandates coming back and things like this, you're going to see a lot more of this, in from the third dimensional world coming towards you, of feeling forced into doing things. Now, that is, say again, they're like maybe at your job, they're like, you have to get a vaccine or we're going to fire you. Or you have to wear a mask or you can't come in here. And I just want to remind you that, okay, energetically, let's talk about what this means energetically, right? So, like, if you feel forced into doing something you don't want to do, what it basically, you're telling yourself, you're taking on this energy of, um, being afraid to speak out for your personal rights, right? Because that's why you feel forced. You feel like it's against your rights. And if you don't speak out against it, then you're taking on the energy that you're agreeing with being forced, right? Okay. So, um, afraid to speak. Now, you don't have to speak out like in an aggressive way to anyone, anything like that. You can literally just say, I do not agree with this to yourself, even. Like, I don't agree with being forced to wear a mask in any store. It's my choice. And when I say that, that empowers you now to choose. And you can say, I'm choosing to wear the mask because I want to wear the mask. So in on the 5D side, your inner world, what that is doing is that is eliminating any feelings of um, oppression, codependency, feeling forced, not feeling like you have a choice, things like that. Okay. So we'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But understand that when you are afraid to speak up for your personal rights and you don't speak up, now, like I said, it doesn't have to be to that person, it doesn't have to be to anyone. It can literally just be to yourself or in a journal or whatever. So, this is what I'm saying energetically, okay? Um, if you do feel forced and you go through with it and you don't say anything, then, there's going to be more that comes at you to see what you will accept as far as bowing down to outer forces. Okay. So, I don't want any fear to come into this because you always have the choice to say no, like at any moment. So, say for instance, you feel forced to wear a mask and you do that. And then you see this video and you go, oh my God, no, you don't need to panic. Just say, okay, no, I'm not agreeing to any laws that, what did I write here? You would just say, no, I do not agree to any laws that take away my personal freedom, that take away my free will. I always have the right to choose. And I chose to wear the mask, right? I was not forced. It was my free will. I chose. And so what that does is internally, it takes away energetically that feeling of oppression or being forced into something. Um, so what so if you know the Bible and you know about the end times and the tribulation and all that, we're definitely in those times, but you can look at it very differently. Okay. I look at it now as more energetically ascension, right? And ascending to the new earth. And that's what really the tribulation means. It is really, it's helping you to get to a higher dimensional energy so that the earth and so that we do not destroy ourselves. Period. Okay, so if you know in the Bible, it talks about the mark of the beast, and basically what that is it is just you believing that you don't have a choice, you feeling like you're trapped, you feeling oppressed, or that you're always being forced into doing something. So um, you believing that there's not free will. Every uh, thing these days is based on your choices energetically, and they're based on the universal laws. So as within, so without. So if you feel oppressed inside, if you feel forced, if you feel um, that you don't have a choice, then you're going to start experiencing much more intense situations where that becomes very apparent, where you no longer have choice. Okay. So it's very important to choose based on the energy, not based on what anyone outside of you says in the 3D. That's really important. Um, because that's like basically following other gods. You don't want to do that. You want to choose based on your inner heart, your intuition, what feels best for you. So that's really important right now. And this is how you can literally stay out of some of this chaos and this fear and this drama that's going on. You can watch it from the outside. Like I'm watching it every single day, but you can stay out of that chaos for yourself. So, and this is what I'm going through. Like I just experienced this myself. Um where I had a family member who got very angry and was basically forcing me to do something. And I almost chose to go with that forced feeling because I kind of wanted to do that as well, but it wasn't on my terms. And so I took a moment and I said, wait a minute, like, this doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel like good. And the second that I had said, okay, fine, I'll just do it, I started to get like this really intense urgency feeling of being forced, like having to do it right now, panic, um, a lot of fear and anxiety because I felt like I had to do this thing that this person wanted me to do right now. And so I felt really forced and like that energy manifested very quickly. And so I took a moment and I meditated and I said, "No, wait a minute. I have free will. I have the choice. I have choice, right? And so it doesn't matter if I were to choose to still go, then I can say it's my choice, but I'm not going to be rushed. I'm not going to be forced. I'm not going to be hurried, right? I'm going to do it on my terms." Um, so that's just kind of an example of what's going on. Um, but you don't want to stay silent and comply to anything where you feel forced. Um, it's more like, and these outside forces, like, I can't explain it to you other than I believe it's in the end for our good because we're learning, but it's still very difficult sometimes. But it's going to make you feel like it's for your well-being, or that it's for your health, or that it's for the protection of other people, just like how mask mandates do, right? They're like, well, you wear a mask to protect others around you. And I remember, a lot of times when I've been silenced, I chose to stay silent about something I felt I needed to speak up about because I didn't want to hurt other people. So pay attention to that energy, um, because you need to be asking, is it better for me, or am I just choosing this because, like, the outer world is telling me or pressuring me that I need to protect other people? So I feel forced to wear this mask. Okay, this is just examples, right? You really have to feel the energy, and you need to tap into your fifth dimensional world, your inner world, and ask yourself, how does it feel? Ask your intuition. Uh, Thank you, intuition, for showing me the choice that energetically is freedom, that energetically is, you know, independence, that energetically is, um, I said freedom, independence, empowerment. Okay. So the thing is you got to feel these things, right, through your intuition. And that's the better choice, because it's so funny. Like, it, from the outer world, it's going to look like you should choose the other option. And I don't want you to choose based on that either. You have to choose based on, like, talk to your intuition and really get that feeling of what is the right way for you to go. Now, there's no fear involved. Like I said, if you choose the other option, then you always have the, and it feels not good, you'll instantly feel it. And you can say, you know what? Nope, I'm making a different choice right now. I have free will. And at any moment, I stand up for my personal freedoms, and I have free will, and I can choose another path right this moment. So I just want you to know that if you're like, oh my God, like, what do I do? What do I do? No, if you choose the other option, you'll feel it energetically, like, this isn't the right option. And pay attention too, because say you start having like chaos come at you. Remember that universal laws, as within, so without, and do not react to it whatsoever. Just be the observer and observe. I mean, sometimes you have to kind of, respond, but you don't need to react in any way. Um, just be the observer, and then you can choose a different option from that point. So let's say all you have to do is use your voice and say, no, I do not agree to any laws that take away my personal freedoms. I do not agree to anything that makes me feel forced, makes me feel oppressed, makes me feel codependent. And when you say that, and I'm just saying you say it out loud, um, then you have the choice. Then you have free will. It's open to you, and you can go from that point. Okay. So if you kind of look at what's going on again in the world with these mask mandates politically, um, things are really crazy. Like, they're really crazy. And there's a lot of energy that is at work that is coming to this culmination where it's like you're forced to go with something that you feel like you wouldn't choose. So remember that and then tap in to your intuition and follow what really feels best for you. But don't worry if it does feel oppressive or trapped or whatever, you can always stop and choose the other option. This is the greatest thing to get you back on track to that. You want the feeling of freedom, you want the feeling of independence, you want the feeling of empowerment, right? So that's what we're looking for. So you don't want to say, I do not agree to laws that take away my medical freedom, my freedom of speech, my freedom to vote, my freedom of independence from government, my financial freedoms, my freedom to choose. So I understand, like, some people might argue about the abortion law, right? And like, oh, well, they've taken away your right to choose. Now, that may be bringing up the feeling that you're forced. Okay. But I want you to remember that nothing outside of you has any power over you. So if you feel that, you need to immediately do like a meditation, a transmutation, and just say, oh my gosh, no, there's nothing has power over me. And you can say, I call forward this feeling of being forced or that I don't have a choice or codependence or imprisonment, anything like that, feeling trapped. I call that forward and I release it for transmutation into unconditional love. And when you do that, you thank your higher self, and your higher self now can give you the choice, like shows you your options, like like opens the door to that. So I just wanted to kind of say what I've been going through spiritually. And with these things coming down the pipeline again, I wanted to bring it out to make sure that you keep your throat chakra clear, open, balanced. You don't want to be silenced. And what can happen with this energy is if you continue to choose um, that of which is more oppressive or codependent or feeling like you're imprisoned, like myself, I literally lost my voice. I felt so afraid to speak out. And that can be, there's lessons involved in that, but that can be very, there's suffering there for sure. So, whatever you're feeling, it is the time to get rid of these energies. When they come up, because they will, that's when you can stop, go a little bit slower, do a transmutation, um, and do a transmutation prayer, like I just said, and that releases the energy, and then you have the choice, and you'll feel more free and more independent and more aligned with your higher self. So I hope that this helps. Oh, you know what I was going to do? Okay. Um, so this is a rock crystal that I got from Sedona, Arizona, and I don't know what it's called, but it was so amazing to clear my throat chakra. So I just wanted to like energetically offer it to you right now. Ooh, that was cool. You can kind of see. So if you would like, you can just um, say, I allow um, this rock formation, I don't know what it's called, to clear my throat chakra of any fear, of any oppression or silencing. Um, we just thank our higher selves for clearing the throat chakra of any codependence, and any feelings of suffering and not being able to speak up for our freedom. So just connect to this and allow your throat chakra to whatever may come up for you right now. You can just journal it, just make sure you express it, whether you speak it out or you write it out, whatever you do. So we're just clearing the throat chakra. Thank you to our higher selves for releasing any fear in the throat chakra, any blockages, and any feeling of oppression or silence. Thank you. We release it to our higher selves for transmutation into unconditional love and freedom. Okay, amen. And I did want to pull a couple tarot cards just to see what the energy is, if there's any other messages from spirit for anyone who's watching right now. I hope that you are having a great Ascension week. I know the last week was really intense for me, and that's why I didn't get on here much last week, because I was just going through it. It just was really going through it. Okay, so Queen of Wands just flew out. I love the black cat down here. It makes me feel, every time I see a black cat, I think of independence. Um, that can be something very tricky in independence. And I've really had to understand spiritually, energetically, what that means. And it literally means that your thoughts, beliefs, um, and emotions are yours, that you're not taking on anyone else's stuff, that you're not trying to fix anyone else's stuff, you're not trying to heal anyone, you're not being like hyper vigilant to absorbing anyone else's energy. And if you're more empathic or very sensitive, or you may have gone through um, some very difficult uh, times, as I know I have myself. But the main key is to learn how to separate your energy from that of everyone else, and how to keep it clear um, by knowing who you truly are inside. And that is so, so important. I just feel also that, like, I want to talk about, because there's so much yellow here, and I forgot to talk about who you truly are inside. This is really important to know when you have people around you coming at you, making you feel forced into situations, possibly like they can be very close family members. Um, it can be your work. It can be things that, you feel like you don't have a choice. And so it can bring us down um, energetically. And I don't want you to take on any of that energy. So, what I have learned, this is so huge, is that God showed me that, like, we are gold inside. And when I say gold, what I mean by that is, my husband showed me something funny that um, back in like the 70s, right? You could buy a gallon of gas with a gold coin, right? Let's just say, for instance. And today, that same gold coin could buy a gallon of gas. Now, even though the price in the outer world has drastically changed, right? So, like, let's say back in the 70s, it was pennies, but now it's, almost $6 here in Southern California. So that same exact coin can buy a gallon of gas back then, and it can now, meaning the value of the gold never changes. So the value remains the same no matter what goes on in the outer world. It doesn't matter. The value of gold never changes. So that was interesting to me, because it made me feel very empowered and very strong, as far as like people can say all they want, about me, but like if I just go, "Oh yeah, no, I'm gold." Like my value does not waver based on other people's opinions of me. My value does not change ever based on anything from the outside world telling me that I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this, right? So, uh, try to keep that in mind going forward. Your value never changes no matter who tells you anything. You are gold, and God sees you as gold no matter what you're based on your actions, your choices, your people, like your value never changes to God. So, anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because with the Queen of Wand and all this yellow, I forgot to mention that. But so just stay in your power this week and your independence. Do not take on any codependent energies. If you're struggling to understand what that means, look it up. Look up codependent energy. Do not take on anyone else's energy. Do not let them bring you down. Do not let them make you feel like you're less than, anything like that. Okay, let's pull another card. Yeah, so I just got to get these messages out because I know, like, for myself, when I started going through these energies, it was 7 or 8 years ago. I can't exactly remember, but I had no idea what was happening to me. And so I went through some very extreme traumatic events. Oh, tower. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So let me pull another card. Can you clarify the tower? Okay. Can you clarify the tower? Wow. These cards just came out. Okay. So 10 of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. I want to pull one more just to clarify the, oh my goodness. Okay. All right, so 4 of Pentacles as well. So what I feel this tower energy could be saying is like I said, keep your independence, and there may be some shakeups, which the tower card can be so crazy, right? But listen, just be the observer. Be the observer of what's really going on, and whatever energy is presenting itself to you, release it or do a transmutation, like I said, where you just go, okay, I ask spirit, what is going on with this situation? Don't just react to it. Say, what is going on with this situation? Like, is this my energy? Is this their energy? What can I learn from it? And see what you get. And then kind of go from there, where you just ask spirit to please release this energy, because the universal law is as within, so without. So you may have some shakeups where you're like, whoa, what's going on? But just remember that energy is within you and can be released. And then you won't have that issue going on outside of you anymore. And that's really what ascension is, and what us light workers are here to do, right? Is to clear that energy within ourselves, and it clears it within our surroundings, within others near us. So that's really helpful. Okay. So with the Queen of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the 10 of Pentacles, I'm just feeling that, like, there may be some of you right now that were kind of like convicted by what I just said, where you're like, oh my gosh, no, I have felt so silenced. Like, I want to say this, I want to speak it out, but I have been holding back. And like, I just want to tell you, I have had this message written since COVID began, but I didn't say it. I don't know. And it's come back around, right? To where it's like, I'm like, oh yeah, I did want to say that. So I'm saying it, like it's just could be an opportunity for you to really remember where you have wanted to speak up for something and you didn't. And it could be an opportunity for you to let that go because what we don't understand is really it heals us. No matter who sees this, like me speaking this out, it literally heals that within me that I've kept silent, right? And then it can help you as well. So it's like a win-win. Um, so don't be afraid to speak your truth. If you do get anyone who, has judgment or tells you you're wrong or you're bad or you're evil or whatever, just remember that you're gold. And if you feel that energy, like where you're like, oh my God, like I'm so embarrassed, like shame. I feel shame that I did this because people are like telling me I'm stupid, I'm horrible, or whatever. Just transmute that energy and go, okay, I'm feeling this energy and I'm just going to release it to my higher self because I know inside I'm gold and it cannot be changed. So that's not my energy. It's what they're pushing out towards me. And I do not have to accept that. All right. I hope you have a great week and I will be on here as soon as I can with another update. All right. Have a good one. Bye.